Before we get into the conspiracy theory of Taylor Swift being a possible psyop, let's talk about her taking the Grammy and not giving Celine Dion any acknowledgement. Yeah, that's what everybody's talking about, let alone dragging Lana Del Rey up on stage after you won the Grammy. Makes you wonder, did she really just bring Lana up there on stage because you stole her style? Hey, I don't really listen to that type of music too much, although I do appreciate Lana Del Rey's music. And I saw her in one of her videos making a beat on a drum machine, so after that I fell in love. But I will say this though. I'm hearing the fans say that she stole the music, let alone that after you get the Grammy from the icon, Celine Dion, you don't acknowledge her? What in the world is going on here? You see, this is what we were talking about earlier, about the younger generation having to acknowledge the older generation that was here before a lot of y'all, which I think personally, you actually had to have way more skills to be in the game then. But yes, man, this whole thing is very awkward. Let's see. There were some tweets that I was running through that some people were talking about. Taylor Swift is disgusting for forcing Lana on stage and rubbing the Grammy in her face, knowing she was nominated. So, you know, Lana Del Rey was also nominated for Album of the Year. And this also brings me to my other point, where we had the Jay-Z Grammy speech, where he said that we need more acknowledgement and some of y'all don't even belong here. Let me say something real quick, man. How is it that the most popular genre, hip hop, in the world is never really being nominated for Album of the Year? I don't get that. Let me say that one more time. The most popular mainstream genre in the world is not being nominated for Album of the Year. What's this say right here? I'm sorry, but Taylor is so evil for not only dragging Lana on stage with her, but also making this pitiful speech about Lana when she's the one holding the Grammy in her hand. Y'all don't see how much of a mean girl moment this is? Very true. Very true. Sound the alarm for you. You're on point. You're on point with that one. When they called her name and she really was sitting there pretending like she didn't know she was going to win. And I'm just saying, is this how much the industry tries to play us? She's like, wait, what? What? I won? Oh, what? Look at her producer right here. Look at her producer's face too. Let's zoom in real quick. Look at his face. Look at his face. See his face right there? He's like, what? We won? Oh, we did? We did? Before we get into all that, let's just see right here that Taylor Swift on the Grammy website has 52 nominations and 14 wins. I mean, they just love nominating this girl. I also looked at her producer, and he has about 12 Grammys too as well, which never even really heard his name. But hey, congratulations, man. And then she goes to Lana Del Rey, and she tries to grab Lana Del Rey. But let me play. Look at this hug. Look at the little handshake. And this hug, most awkward hug ever, a handshake. And then here we have this moment. One person wrote on Reddit, which I thought was hilarious. He said, what is the deal with so many people online saying the public opinion finally turns against Taylor Swift after the Grammys? Did she do something horrifying in particular that did not set well with the people? Interesting question. But what I found really funny was this answer right here that this person came with. I'm not going to go through all of it because it's pretty long essay. Or who is this person that broke this down, man? She became a billionaire. This led to a discussion about whether she could be an ethical billionaire or not. And there has been some discourse within her fandom and that she's not doing enough charity as she has been before and has acquitted her with wealth through an unethical means. sweatshop merch, etc. During her Love era, Taylor became more political, supporting the LGBTQ community and calling for people to vote. But recently, she has been silent on all political issues. Well, that's why I said we're going to see what happens with the Super Bowl. She has a huge platform, and many people have been calling on her to use it to call for a ceasefire to encourage people to vote again. She started dating Travis Kelce and showing up to his games. The NFL seemed heavily in favor of their relationship, which is true, so much that it even led them to the Super Bowl. Posting stats comparing his performance during games she attended versus games she skipped. Interesting. And she also got a lot of airtime during those games. This annoyed some NFL fans. Some? Also, Travis will be playing during the Super Bowl, and Taylor has a concert in Japan right before. And there have been articles and even a statement by the Japanese embassy on whether Taylor can make it from her concert to the Super Bowl in time. Wow, man, this person really broke this down. I wonder if this person like writes for the New York Post or something, because this is like great information right here. Even if untrue, public opinion is that Taylor uses her private jet more than any other celebrity and contributes more to emissions than anyone else on the planet. I agree with that. I have read that. She recently took a 13-minute flight that would have been a 30 to 40-minute drive. She also has threatened to sue the college student who posts her flight information even though it's publicly available, and he waits 24 hours before he posts it. At the Grammys, which we have covered, people thought that she snubbed Celine Dion. They didn't appreciate that she dragged Lana Del Rey on stage. I agree with that. With her after Lana lost in the same category. And she announced her album at the Grammys, which some people thought was tacky. Yeah, very tacky. Jay-Z also mentioned in his acceptance speech that even though Beyonce has won the most Grammys, she has never won Album of the Year, an award Taylor has won 4 times. A record that I think some people are frustrated about, even though Beyonce wasn't up there this year for that. Her new album is titled Tortured Poets Department, and I've seen people clowning on her for claiming to be tortured, considering how wealthy and influential she is. It is also could be a dig at her ex-boyfriend, who I guess disappeared after she became famous. The rock star that she is. What a just an awkward moment. Look at Lana Del Rey's face too. She just looks lost. She looks like she just doesn't know what is going on, or if she wants to be there, or maybe she's high. Could Taylor Swift be quiet now to be a possible psyop to drop her ultimate plan, where after Travis Kelce wins the Super Bowl, he runs to the end zone, and while he's in the end zone, he gets down on one knee and he looks up into the sweet box. And he says to Taylor, Taylor, I love you. Will you be my wife? And the crowd goes wild after he says that, man. The biggest media event since the Will Smith slap. And then after Kelce proposes to her and she says yes, she looks into the camera and then she says, vote for Joe Biden.
Taking it right here. They leave me no choice.
Conspiracy theories. Is it rigged? Are these coincidences? Vivek Ramaswamy, right? He posted this on Twitter. I think after the Chiefs beat the Baltimore Ravens, right? Basically, he says, I wonder who's going to win the Super Bowl. He says, I wonder if there's a major presidential endorsement coming from artificially culture propped up couple this fall. Just some wild speculation over here. Let's see how it ages over the next months, right? Yeah, true. I don't think that anybody in their right mind really believes that this relationship right here with what's his name again? Travis Kelce, is that his name? And Taylor Swift is really real. Yeah, from what I've heard from a lot of people, and from what a lot of people have been saying, is that this relationship does not seem real. Listen, I want to ask y'all, Do you guys think that this is real? So as far as back to this conspiracy theory, once Vivek put this out and said, right here, this main part, a presidential endorsement coming from an artificially, culturally propped up couple. Wow. Vivek just basically went up there and said that this whole relationship is fake. Now, I've been seeing a lot of people say, as you see right here in the comments, that it's rigged.
66 yards in total
Oh,
offense.
I love you so
that
much.
play.
Oh, you did such a great job. Yo, man, that's what I'm saying. Fabricated or what, yo? Is this not the most fabricated thing you've seen?
Against Marquez Valdez-Scantling as you Travis Kelce. Hey,
with Taylor Swift.
to the victors
Wow, you
go
hear people
everything.
booing in the background?
Hey.
Let's make sure that when we give our hug and we give our kiss, that we do it on the football field in front of everybody, in front of the cameras. I mean, I get it. You're a football player. You're a pop singer. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating. I'm just saying that a lot of this just seems very... She has over 272 million followers on Instagram. So 279 million. Time Magazine, Beyonce. Okay, so we're talking about just top of the list. Is that even her with Kendrick Lamar? I never even noticed this. I never went to her Instagram. In the studio with Kendrick. Okay, so she's like with the elite of the elite. All the rappers. Nice symbol by Kendrick Lamar, too, that he's throwing up right there. A little Illuminati symbol. Well, like, what is this symbol right here that Kendrick is throwing up? That might be a whole nother video that we're going to have to do. So she has 279 million followers on Instagram. This isn't including her Twitter or YouTube, but I'm sure most of her fan base is on this account. So my point is this, is that obviously she has a huge following. She has a huge influence. But according to people like Tim Pool, who did research on this, who I do agree with, where he was basically saying that a lot of this is fabricated, a lot of this is fake, a lot of this that he does not believe is real. I saw this funny meme on Facebook where they have Taylor Swift. She's going to be on the new cover of Madden football video game. This is just, I mean, so a lot of us are seeing what's going on. Again, this is why I can't get into professional sports as much as I used to. This is the reason why I do not bet on games like the way I used to, because I'm not sure if I really believe all the stuff that's going on in football. I'm not sure if I really believe all of it. You know what's also really funny when I look at this picture right here? What's really funny to me when I look at this photo is that y'all remember with some of us that were in high school and you had like the popular quarterback of the football team or the popular football player and then the popular girl in school that everybody wanted to be with. She's the prom queen and he's the prom king and everybody wanted to be cool like them and they're what's popular and they're what's cool. I guess the word now is trending. And then as you get older, you start to see that being an adult is not really much different from when you were in high school. People are like, oh, man, I can't wait to be older. I can't wait to grow up. I can't wait to be an adult so I don't have to deal with this crap anymore. And I mean, I get it. As you get older, as far as this whole popularity contest goes, you start to see that nowadays is not really much different from the times that we were a teenager. So I feel like that when I watch this whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce relationship, that a lot of people have been saying it just seems generic and does not seem authentic. And I definitely agree with that, because I think that I remember when I first started hearing the news about them that she didn't seem to say that she really liked him. When you see them together, the body language was different, right? The body language was off. As a matter of fact, I think there was a site on Twitter that explains body language, and they were looking at the two body language between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and said that it was inauthentic. It's not real. Just by the way the body language is, because there was a lot of photos of him leaning into her. There's a lot of endorsement deals that are going on here. Now, I've heard some other conspiracy theories where people have been saying Taylor Swift, as you've heard, is a psyop. This seems like something that their public relations team put together, has fabricated for them to make more money, for them to get richer, which, hey, I'm not mad at that. Now you can charge more money for advertising. You can charge more money at your concerts. As a matter of fact, I heard that this Super Bowl, and thank you for the likes. I hope you guys give me some subscribes and keep it coming. As a matter of fact, I've actually heard that this Super Bowl is one of the most expensive Super Bowls to get into, with the ticket prices already starting at around $10K. That's $10,000, y'all, just to get in. I don't even think that those are the good seats. Don't you all find it kind of strange and kind of ironic that during the time when the economy is having a so-called inflation, that the tickets to the Super Bowl are the most expensive that they've ever been? I find that kind of strange. Like, who has the money, right? The average person is what I'm speaking on. Who is the average person that has the money to go and drop $10,000 on a Super Bowl ticket to go sit up way up in the stands? You ain't even going to be on the field. You're thinking, oh, yeah, man, I paid $10,000 to be on the field. No, it's $10,000 to be at the top, in the back. Who has the money to just go drop on that? You know who? I know who. Millionaires. That's who. I don't even know if millionaires have that. They got to be millionaires that are probably close to like $1 billion, that have the money to just go say, hey, I'm going to be able to just drop $10,000 on a ticket. Why not? There's a lot of things that are going on here. But let's just say this, though. We'll go back to the conspiracy theory. Let me go back over to Vivek's tweet. What was the tweet that he commented on or replied to? Thinking about when Taylor Swift called out the Soros family in 2000, for buying the rights to her music, and then how she came out a super liberal in 2020. Yeah, interesting. You see, it's good that some of us are doing some thinking here. Some of us are using our brains here. And this is why I just want to show y'all, like, this is what's going on right now on Twitter. So even the New York Post said that Vivek Ramaswamy wildly speculates Super Bowl will be rigged for Chiefs to set the stage for Taylor Swift's Biden endorsement. I want to show y'all, man. This is actually a real theory. Now, the reason why I give people like Tim Pool props and say that, yes, obviously she's being controlled by the machine. She's obviously being controlled by the machine. But on top of her being controlled by the machine, and that this whole relationship is just so fake, it's so much acting involved here. I don't believe that she has that power. Now, because why? Because Tim Pool had pointed this out, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me do my research on this too. Where it says that Taylor Swift's Instagram post helped drive voter registration, right? This is for the other election that came up. On Tuesday morning, the singer posted, this isn't today, but it says on Tuesday morning, the singer posted a short message on her Instagram where she had at the time 272 million followers, right? Registered to vote. Afterward, the website she directed, it said that supposedly they had 35,000 registrations sign up that day, according to the organization. Now, do we even know if that number's true? Probably not. But then other than that, what I've heard some people say is that did all 35,000 registrations come from Taylor Swift that day? Probably majority of them. But on top of that, it's like they saw a 23% jump, right? From the year before, which I can see. But there was a number that they looked at that they said that they had 35,000 registrations from 272 million followers. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So basically what they're saying is that Taylor Swift is obviously controlled by the mainstream media, by the record companies, by the machine. Same thing with Megan Thee Stallion, which we had up the Rock Nation thing earlier. And that's the point that I'm making here, is that some of these artists are controlled by the machine, even if this number is true or not true. But I just want to say, even if she pulled all 35,000 registrations from her 272 million followers, people are going to say, well, they're not voters or they're not into politics. They're just into Taylor Swift's music. which I can understand. You can't expect people that listen to music are going to go out and vote, right? But my point is this, is that out of your 272 million followers, you only had 35,000, which I don't even believe that was the full number because I believe that some of those thousands came from other sources. But let's just say 30K. You have 30,000 subscribers that they believe came from the traffic that you put out there out of your 272 million followers. That's not even half of your followers. Is that because most of your following, I don't know what the age range is, I would assume millennials and some others are probably like, yeah, that's cool. That's a good idea. You're right. We should go out and do that. Rock the vote, man. But I'm not going to do it. But thanks for saying that. I'll like it. Keep up the good work, Taylor. But are they going to go out and vote because of her? Possibly not. But this also brings to another point that I want to make here. Let me highlight this real quick. Y'all see the numbers right here, 272 million compared to 35,000. This goes to the point to where I'm trying to say, does that also translate to record sales? Does it translate as well to record sales? Because if you think about it, if you have a following that big of 272 million, and that's just on your Instagram account, that's not including your Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, other social media you have out there, TikTok, I'm sure now. Now I think she's at nearly 280 million. But you have this large following and only 35,000 people, which is still a great number, but only 35,000 people made a move off of what you said. Does that transfer to record sales that if Taylor Swift were to say, hey, you know what, forget the record industry, screw corporations, I was going to say corporate America, but yeah, that is a part of corporate America as well, the music mainstream, the music industry. Screw the mainstream music industry, and I'm going to do this all independent. I'm now going to be an independent artist. Go out and buy my new album. Now, I think she could do that. I think that she obviously has enough power and enough buzz to where she can do that. The question is she going to still be making the money that she's making now? No, I do not think so. I think that the machine is pushing the agenda to keep her in the mainstream. Just like I said about her whole relationship with Kelsey, I think it's fabricated. I don't think it's real. I think it's a publicity stunt. Some people say, well, she doesn't need Travis to promote her music. She can do that on her own. She's already a big enough star to do that on her own. True. But let's be real. When two come together and form a union, they become stronger, such as J-Lo and Ben Affleck. What did they come with that stupid phrase? Benifer. People are always fascinated with knowing about relationships. So obviously the push is going to be harder and the push is going to be stronger. It's going to be stronger, man. So yeah, what I'm basically saying is that I do not believe that she can go off and not be part of this. I do not believe it. It's obvious, yo, that there is an agenda that's at place. You know, y'all tell me what you think. I'm really interested to know what some people think, man. Is the Super Bowl rigged? Like I said, I'm not sure if it could be rigged. I mean, it is interesting that Kansas City went to the Super Bowl, especially now with Taylor Swift. But I will say, though, that if it was really, really super rigged, I think Detroit would be up in there because, I mean, come on, Eminem going at it with Taylor Swift, that would just be hilarious.